Hello and welcome to the channel.
Hi.
Alrighty, today is August 11th. We're going to figure out what it all means. The name of today's lesson is No Time for Theories, Just Results. It begins with a quote by Musonius Rufus. When the problem arose for us whether habit or theory was better for getting virtue, if by theory is meant what teaches us correct conduct, and by habit we mean being accustomed to act according to this theory, Musonius thought habit to be more effective.
Mm-hmm. And more effective than what? What was the first part?
More effective for getting virtue.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Getting virtue.
So theory is just...
AKA getting what you want.
Maybe. I think by virtue they're referring to like the four virtues, like the Stoic four virtues of discipline, courage, wisdom.
No?
No, it's like whatever Ryan's writing next.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like living the right way. For the result is living the right way. What is more useful for that is it theory or habit? Well, it's habit.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
That makes sense, yeah.
In many cases, theory probably comes first because there needs to be the awareness of my habits are not all they could be.
Yeah, you can't, it's almost like you can't start a new habit without having a belief that that thing is going to, you're going to benefit in some way from it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you might accidentally stumble upon good habits, and maybe you don't consciously know the theory behind the habit or why it's so beneficial. But I think for me, at least in a lot of cases, it's recognizing that a habit I've had to date is not the right thing. Now some period of theorizing happens, and that turns into a trial and error process of, well, what are my new habits going to be that feel like they fit me? Not just, oh, I listened to some advice from this person and I started living that way. I can try on the advice from other people, but inevitably I always end up really like picking and choosing.
Yeah, because it has to make sense in you.
Right.
You have your own theory based on your own experiences, and then this theory has to fit that who you are, right? And then
And the habits too.
Sure, all of that, yeah. It's
because
very
it's
unique
someone's
to you,
habits.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, cool. Okay, Ryan, what do you got?
Let's continue. Ryan says, as Hamlet says, there are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. There is no time to chop logic over whether our theories are correct. We're dealing with the real world here. What matters is how you're going to deal with this situation right in front of you, and whether you're going to be able to move past it and on to the next one. That's not saying that anything goes, but we can't forget that although theories are clean and simple, situations rarely are. Ooh, I love that. Because there is this sort of thing of like theorizing, even I'm connecting this to like giving someone a piece of advice or a solution to something. Like I'm thinking of the theory of like, what is this? And I just kind of throw it out there. It's so it's too clean and simple for the situation. It's like, it's not helpful. It doesn't actually make sense given the nuances of this specific thing right here.
Well, yeah, because that's the whole idea of like, well, who, you're saying to someone, when does somebody give you a suggestion, right? When they see you doing something not according to how it's supposed to be done or something,
or how they would do it,
or how they would do it, or you're asking them, or maybe not asking, but maybe you're just kind of stating that, hey, I'm having trouble to figuring this whole thing out. And there's a huge tendency for the other person to say, well, this, you just need to do X, Y, and Z, right? But that's what they're responding to is how they figured it out in their world. But that's not necessarily applying to your world. So they're trying to be helpful, but is it helpful? Probably not. Maybe it is helpful in some way. I can see for it to be helpful. You say, if the receiver of that information is open and is not bothered by that they're giving you their
or if
opinion,
it somehow fits,
or somehow it fits or something, like there is some chance, but I would say majority of the time it doesn't fit, right? Because we are such a different. We have such a different experiences, or such a different experiences that it would be a miracle that their solution, exactly how they applied that, would work in my case or something. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And
then it makes me think from like flipping it, like, oh, I shouldn't be giving people suggestions because how is this gonna apply to this thing, right? Like, but then that's so easy to be overlooked, right?
Well, that's interesting that
you
brought that up, because I was also gonna say, like, from the point of view of being somebody who has given a lot of unsolicited advice or solutions, I know that, like, there's this, like, relationship, like, the more that I'm doing this theory stuff of, like, you should do this, or, like, this is how this works, the less in tune I am with the peculiarities of real situations that I'm in, because I'm just, like, not paying attention to that stuff. I'm paying attention to the philosophy of the and, like, oh, well, have you thought of this, and you could try this, and it's just
thought heavy and not
it's not
presence heavy. Yeah.
Right, exactly, versus, like, studying a specific situation, accepting, like, oh, this situation has presented these facts, I accept these facts, what do I do with them? It's such a different frame of mind from well, what if I do this, like, or why don't you do this? Yeah, thank you, Ryan, thank you, Oli. You have anything else?
No, that's great. Yeah, that's great. Cool. Awesome.
Nicely done.
Until tomorrow.
Alrighty, my friend. We'll see you here tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in.